Embodying our feminine divine presence helps us connect to our inner power, and it helps remind us that we are divine beings and that we are worthy. This not only helps us in our self-awareness and personal growth, but it also helps and affects our work and our relationships. In this video, I talk about our feminine divine presence, what that is, and how we can be self-full, and how that affects our work and our relationships. Welcome. Dancing with the Goddess is how we move through and experience life as modern mystic women. I believe anyone can be a modern mystic woman and experience awe, beauty, and magic in our daily lives. I'm Tora Arishnaimu, goddess mystic, author, and creative. Join me as we discover who we are meant to be, explore different modalities for self-improvement and transformation, and reawaken to our goddess magic and feminine divine selves. I invite you to dance with the goddess with me. Here's today's episode. Dancing with the Goddess is remembering our power, remembering our wisdom. When we connect to and align with the Goddess, and we see her as a role model, it helps remind us that we are a reflection of her. And she is a reflection of us. And I said this in a previous episode, but I think it bears repeating because it feels like a core concept for being in our feminine divine presence. As above, so below. We've heard that from the Hermetic teachings. And these Hermetic teachings came from men and from a patriarchal point of view. Even though they were talking about all that is in source and not putting a gender to source, they were still in that patriarchal mind frame that spirituality and humanity are separate. That, yes, what we see if reflected in the heavens are reflected in earth, in our human experience. But they forgot and are missing a key component. We are spiritual beings that happen to be in a physical body. The saying should be, as above, so below, as within. Every time I say that, I get chills. Those are the truth chills that I get, that I know what I'm saying, what I'm hearing is spiritual truth. And I have head to toe chills. Being in this physical experience doesn't mean separating, and being spiritual is different than living our everyday life. Embodying our feminine divine presence allows us to experience life in all its awe and beauty and joy in this feminine perspective, this divine perspective, this spiritual perspective. It's acknowledging that we are divine. It is acknowledging and accepting that we are worthy because we are divine, because we are connecting to a goddess who looks like us. We can see our own divinity, and that's what I think we have lost in this patriarchy that has tried so hard to destroy the feminine divine, to destroy the feminine, and to make women simply possessions. In essence, slaves. That's how women have been treated for at least the last 2 millennia, longer than that. As long as patriarchy has been in our social consciousness, women and the feminine divine have been diminished. And it's time for us to reclaim our personal power, to be empowered. That's what empowerment is reclaiming our personal power, our knowingness and acceptance and embracing that we deserve all the good stuff in life, that we deserve to be treated well. We deserve to have a job that we love, that lights us up, that we deserve to have the family we desire or not, that we deserve to be paid the same for the same job. Our feminineness doesn't mean we are less than. Quite the opposite. We have a natural connection to the divine that men struggle with. And I know some women struggle with it too. But it's more difficult for men to connect with the spiritual. And I think some of that for women is our ability to grow and create life within us. Not all, because not all who are women have the capacity of giving birth. But that's part of us, whether we give birth or not. There's that connection, that nurturing that we have. It's easier for women, and we're talking generalities here. We know there are outliers in everything, but generally it's easier for women to connect with our emotions. And our emotions are a direct connection to our inner being, to our inner goddess. The way she speaks to us, guides us, is through our emotions and through our intuition. Yes, men have intuition. They have inner beings. But they're taught, and our society is all logic. And our heads, our egos, don't know anything. They're just repositories for knowledge, for habits. It's our inner beings. It's our bodies. Actually, our bodies contain more wisdom than our brains ever will. So when we embody, and embody is to be in the body, we are deeply connecting to our inner being. We're connecting to our emotions. We're connecting to our intuition. We're connecting to our knowingness. And I invite you right now to drop into that knowingness. Drop into your feminine divine presence. And one way to do this is put one hand on your heart, on your high heart. And I usually do my left, so do your non-dominant hand. And your other hand is on your womb space. Whether you have a womb or not, you have that womb space. To find it, put your thumb on your belly button and just relax your hand down. And that puts your hand about 2 inches below your belly button. And that is your feminine divine power space. And just close your eyes for a moment. If you can. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes. You can do this with your eyes open and just setting your intention. It's sometimes easier to go within the body to close your eyes because then you're not having all this outside data coming in. You can pay attention more fully to your inner being, your inner world, if you will, with your eyes closed. And we're going into the dark. So close your eyes with your hands on your high heart and on your feminine divine power space. And just breathe in, dropping your consciousness, your awareness. This would be your super consciousness, your awareness into your body, into your heart space, into your feminine divine space. And take a deep breath. Hold and let it out slowly. Another one in. Hold and let it out slowly. Being in your body. Being fully present in this now moment. Feeling your presence. Your divine feminine presence. And open your eyes. Pay attention to how you feel now versus when you started doing that. I'm noticing my voice is dropping just a little bit. I'm more in my body. And when I'm in my body, I can fully experience my life. I can fully experience the joys of life. And I can fully experience the sorrows, the grief, the anger. Those are valid too. We're not doing any spiritual whitewashing or gaslighting in Dancing with the Goddess. Dancing with the Goddess is embracing all that we are. We are learning to be self-full. Part of being in our feminine divine presence is being self-full. That's not selfish. That's self-full. That is remembering to take care of ourselves, to do what's right for us. Because when we do what's right for us, and we're in this feminine divine presence, we are also thinking about and considering those around us. Selfishness is doing what we want from a narcissistic point of view, from a patriarchal point of view. I'm doing this and fuck everybody else. That's selfishness. Self-fullness is I'm in my body. I'm connected with my inner being, my inner goddess, and I'm doing what is right for me. I'm remembering to take care of myself, to fill my cup, because we cannot help others from an empty cup. We have to serve from a full cup, and that is taking care of ourselves. And we'll talk about the mother martyr syndrome in another episode. In Dancing with the Goddess and the Dancing with the Goddess Sisterhood, in our membership, one of the things that we work on and that we talk about and explore as a community is how we embody, how we can be who we fully are. Part of that is knowing who we are. And we have to do that self-discovery work in addition to embodiment work. We talk about that in the Dancing with the Goddess Sisterhood. And I'm working on a program for helping us as women to uncover our hidden treasure chest. And that treasure chest is us. That's who we are. We need to go beyond our conditioning, beyond what we've been taught, our limiting mindsets, to discover who we are. And once we discover who we are, it's much easier to embody ourselves, embody our feminine divine selves. I have a wait list for the Uncover Your Treasure Chest program on my website that you can go and check and sign up if that is speaking to you. While you're at it, check out the Dancing with the Goddess Sisterhood and join us in this conversation of embodying our feminine divine selves, being in our feminine divine presence, being selfful and living a thriving life. When we are selfful and we are embodying our presence, it helps us remember our inner power and who we are. That is Dancing with the Goddess. That is everything that I teach, that I guide women on, is embodying our inner self, embodying our power. And when we do, we reclaim our voices and speaking up for what is right. We remember our wisdom, our feminine wisdom, and we reawaken to our feminine divine selves and know we are worthy. As a divine being, we are worthy of love. We are worthy of respect. We are worthy of doing work that fulfills us. It's sad that work has been equated with drudgery and something that you have to do versus something that you want to do, something that's fulfilling to you. And we're seeing this awakening, and I'm seeing it in the TikTok videos, in the social media posts. More and more people are connecting to, what is my passionate purpose? What is going to bring me joy in what I do? I don't want to just settle for a job that makes me money. I want to be happy in my job. I want it to be something that fulfills me and not just gives me money. Yes, I want money, but there's more to life than money. I want to have a fulfilled, balanced life. And this is actually part of the sacred goddess path. The sacred goddess path is us, all of us as individuals, doing what is our passionate purpose, what lights us up, which is especially important for generators, which is 70% of the population, is to do what lights them up, not just a job. Yes, you're meant to work, but you're not meant to just do a job. You're meant to do what lights you up and makes you happy. Yes, that is the sacred goddess way. And it doesn't mean that things don't get done in our society. There is always going to be someone who likes to do something that you don't like to do. I don't like doing hair. I refuse. I don't want to be a hairdresser. I am so happy there's somebody who wants to be a hairdresser. There are people who actually like being garbage collectors. Our society should not put a stigma on that. It's a very worthwhile position. Look at places where garbage collectors have gone on strike. And then think about, is that a needed position in our society? Oh, fuck yes. So we shouldn't stigmatize that. There are people who want to do that. I like to write. I'm an author. I have a friend who's like, oh, don't make me write. I don't like writing. She likes doing podcasts because she can just speak. I like to speak and write, so this works for me too. But just something as simple as writing. Not everybody wants to do that or has the skill level to do it. And that's okay. Not everybody are storytellers. Not everybody wants to do that in writing. They might want to tell those stories doing YouTube videos and TikToks. Awesome. In the Goddess way, it's a place of unity and duality, where the individual is fully expressing their authenticity, who they are, in unity with the community. And community, we can think of common unity. And in our community, we need everyone to be fulfilling their authenticity. When that happens, our needs are met. Our basic Maslow bottom tier needs are met. But beyond that, our higher needs, our creative needs, our social needs, our spiritual needs, our self-actualization needs can happen because the community is respecting the individual, and the individual is looking at how what they do serves the community. It isn't a place of I'm doing this and hoarding all the resources to myself. It's sharing those resources. And it sounds kind of like a utopia, but it isn't. It's what our humanity is capable of. It's where I fully believe, and I know deep in my heart, it is where humanity's evolution can go if we break the bonds of patriarchy. The bonds of patriarchy enslave us to this idea that we have to serve a higher power, not work in concert with that higher power. And that higher power has become, in our society, the 1%, the corporations, the oligarchy. That's not the way it is meant to be. We are meant to be working in cooperation and in partnership with each other, in community, in common unity, while expressing our individuality. This unity and duality is also reflected in our relationships. When we are selfful and embodying our inner power, we are whole and complete as an individual. That outlook helps us see the other person in our relationship as also whole and complete. One of the goddesses that I love working with for relationships, and this seeing ourselves and seeing the other as whole and complete, not as someone who needs to complete us, not as our soulmate or a twin flame or any of that other stuff, is the goddess Isis. And in her story of where she reclaims the pieces of her mate Osiris, when she does, she's able to reclaim all the pieces and parts except for one. And that's his phallus, his penis. However, that does not stop her from seeing and holding him as whole and complete. Even without that very necessary organ, she conceives a child with Osiris. We can use that same energy in connecting with Isis to see ourselves as whole and complete and the other as whole and complete. Not just in our romantic relations, in all of our relationships with our children, with our co-workers, with our parents, with our siblings, with our friends. All of those are relationships. Chills. Being in this selfful, embodied place, this whole and complete place, allows us to reflect that and see that in the other person. And as we see that in the other person, it helps them see it in themselves. When we see and acknowledge their amazingness, their wholeness, that they aren't lacking, that we're looking at their amazing qualities and what we love about them, suddenly all of the things that we don't like, that we nitpick, fall away. They may still be there, but because we're focusing on the goodness, on what we love, what we appreciate, what inspires us, what is amazing about them, it brings that out in them. They embody it. They may be doing those things that, we don't like, or that may be just them not being who they are. And now that you're seeing them as their potential and holding that energy for them, that helps them embody who they are and embody their feminine divine presence. Even if you are masculine or masc presenting, you do have a feminine divine presence within you. We are both masculine and feminine. I connect more with the feminine. I work with the goddesses. I don't work with the gods. That's just not my calling. I appreciate them. I acknowledge them. I just simply don't personally work with them. And I know that they're necessary. Men are necessary and amazing. And when we're in this place of embodiment, in our personal power, in our divine presence, we remember that we are worthy. And we're worthy of having a partner who loves and respects us and accepts us as who we are, as we are accepting them as who they are. We're seeing that more feminine flow in how we want our relationships. Women aren't accepting the status quo any longer. They are saying, I'm worth more. I demand more. And if I don't receive it, guess what? I'm okay being by myself. And I can tell you, ladies, you're okay by yourself. If you're not getting the relationship that you want, You don't have to settle. I was a single mom. I'm single now, and I'm happy. Part of my being single was I wanted to be happy with me, and I rejected the idea of an other completing me, making me whole. And it was working with the goddess, with the various goddess energies, that I was able to find that wholeness within myself. Now, if I happen to meet somebody, I know I can be in a relationship with them, and it will add to my life experience. But I don't need that other person to make me happy, to make me whole. I am whole. I am happy in myself. And that will just deepen any relationship that I get in. That deepens my relationship with my daughter and my grandchildren and my son-in-law. By me being whole, I'm not expecting my daughter to fulfill me or my grandkids to fulfill me. I can have an amazing relationship with them and help them see their amazingness. I am whole and in myself. And by me holding that wholeness and that self-acceptance of myself, I can reflect that to my daughter, to my grandchildren, and help them be whole in themselves, accept themselves. Embodying our feminine divine presence and being present in our lives, in our body, helps us live more fulfilling, satisfying, joyful lives. We can be who we are. We can live our life fully, joyfully, unapologetically, fearlessly, and authentically. We hear that word bandied about. Being our authenticness flows from our divine presence. This helps us find and do work that is right for us, our right livelihood, the work that lights us up, that brings us joy. And it helps us in our relationships to be in those joyful, loving relationships, not only with a partner, but also in our relationships with our family, our children, our siblings, with our friends, with our co-workers. If you have a business, with your clients or customers. Being embodied, being present in our divine presence allows us to live the life that we were meant to live. And that is one where our spirituality and our physicality are mundane. There is no difference. That we see ourselves as whole and complete, and part of that wholeness and completeness is seeing ourselves as divine beings and embodying that in this body, in this time and place, and fully experiencing the life that we chose. I invite you to join me in the Dancing with the Goddess Sisterhood to explore embodying your feminine divine presence. And remember to sign up on the wait list for the Uncover Your Hidden Treasure Chest. The time that I'm recording this, there's a wait list. When you watch it, you may be able to sign up for it. I'd love to help you uncover the greatness and the amazingness that is within you. I see that in you. I hold that for you. And of course, I'm crying now, so we are complete. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode and it deepened your dance with the goddess. Please subscribe to our channel, like and share the video, and feel free to comment. This helps more women find our show. To support the show, please donate to buymeacoffee.com DWGpod. Your donations help support the cost of hosting, editing, and production of the podcast. We appreciate your support. May the rest of your day be amazing, and may you dance with the goddess in love and joy.